Okay. Amberlynn's mom and the dog story, which we're all a bit confused about whether this actually happened, whether it was a typographical error on the part of the legal justice system. Um, I don't think we really know the answer, and I don't know Sam well enough to know if she's capable of doing this type of PI investigation. Sam, have you ever had to actually hire a PI to find out what's going on? Because I have. And they have a completely different skill set than we do. So just because you called up a courthouse or whatnot and got an answer from a clerk, I just don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know what is true, what is false. And I feel like probably FFG is kind of in the same boat right now.
Amberlynn and the video that she made addressing, I'm now going to call the rumors surrounding her mother's criminal charges that we had been discussing and everyone's discussing. The charges against her mother. It's more than charges. She ended up going to jail for these things. She was convicted of things. One of them included harm to a service animal. And the rumors going around had been that she had killed a service animal. That does not seem to be true at all. At all. In fact,
well, it wasn't exactly that. There was a few different things in that municipal code. I'm sorry, it's the landscaping crew's back again. And they're working by the pool today. But anyway, there was like 4 or 5 different possibilities in that municipal code. One of them was animal abuse, I think. One of them was interfering with the ability for the service dog to complete its duties. And one of them was unaliving the service dog. But there was like 4 or 5 different possible scenarios of what could have happened. And nobody is coming forward as like an eyewitness to saying what happened when this happened. The only person who could really tell us what happened, if she's still of sound mind, because granted, I'm hearing 2 different things, that this happened in 2015 and that it happened in 2010. Okay, so if it was in 2015, it was 9 years ago. If it was 2010, it was 14 years ago. All right. Anyway, let's see how this goes.
With the more days that have passed since we first discussed it, day after day, there's kind of more information sort of coming out, more clarity on the situation. It seems like, yes, she pled guilty. That's right. However, it seems like there might not be anything to do with a service animal at all. Sam apparently today on her live stream called the courthouse, and had some things verified. And no, the person was saying that it very well could have been a keystroke error and nothing more.
Okay, let me tell you how easily this can get fucked up. I got completely screwed over in my lawsuit against the owner of the dog that attacked me. We had a PI involved, and first of all, he couldn't locate the actual owners at first because it was a duplex property. The people in the back were like the adult children of the homeowners who lived in the front unit. And so they were very elusive about what sort of homeowners insurance they had, who would actually be responsible for what happened to me. And so I asked my attorney to, well, what do you think? Is it worth pursuing? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, let's drop it. That was like last summer. Dude never dropped it. And then the homeowners tried to sue me for trespassing. Their gate was open. It was a duplex property, and all I was doing was knocking on doors and distributing flyers for the city council race and trying to get signatures to get measures passed. I was not trespassing. I was expressing my First Amendment free speech. But at that point, my attorney was such a jackass that he said he wouldn't represent me in that case. And so in order for me to defend myself against their claims, I would have had to lay down a $10,000 retainer. I think you guys need to be a little more careful about just like picking up the phone, trying to get some information, speaking to a clerk and being like, well, I guess this is how it is. You don't know. That's why you have to be careful about reporting on any of these stories, because you don't know. What I know is that I was doing my job, knocking on doors, and I got attacked by an obese bulldog who hit me hard in the back of my left leg, like a Nancy Kerrigan injury. And I have not recovered. I still have a permanent limp, and it's very difficult for me to walk. But, you know, you guys all think you can just pick up the phone and get clarification, and I'm sure that clerk was right or not, right? Let me give you another one. The guy who groped me and I tried to get a restraining order against him, he specifically used documents that were thrown out of court to create a false narrative and try and flip it around like I was stalking him, despite the fact that it was very clear that he had been stalking me, and using his tribe of our revolution volunteers and Feel the Burn Club volunteers to stalk me up and down the state, block my passage down hallways, block my passage in and out of doorways, block my passage to sign-in sheets. I even was attacked about this a year and a half ago at a volunteer party by somebody I had never met before. And she's like, but he didn't really sexually assault you, right? Like, he wanted it. First of all, I'm like almost 20 years older than this motherfucker. And no, I didn't want it. And dude was groping my ass on election night in 2018. So, you know what? You guys got to be careful about, like, just picking up the phone and taking what you get from that. What do they say? You want, like, in real journalism, that you should be looking for at least 3 sources to validate your information before you go live with it. 3 sources, you guys.
It doesn't seem to have anything at all to do with a service animal at all. I think it was a police canine. That can't be true, because a canine, if you do anything to a cop, like a dog cop, a cop dog, you're charged as if you've done something to a cop. They're not treated as a service animal. They're treated as a cop. So it wouldn't be that charge either. Okay. The incident that those charges came from and that her mom went to jail was from punching out her own mother. So Amberlynn's grandmother. That's what that incident was all about. And yes, it was her. Amber's going to lie and tell us that it wasn't really her. Yes, it was. All the information checks out. And it's all her mother's information. It's more than just a name. You know what I mean? Everything lines up. Everything checks out. There's mugshots. There's birthdays. There's the person written on the court documents who paid the fees, I guess, to eventually get her out. And it's a name that if you've been watching Amber long enough, you know before as an aunt of Amber and stuff. So yes, it is Amber's mother. But the situation doesn't seem to have anything at all to do with harming a service animal or anything to do with a service animal at all. It seems like a keystroke error. So for that, I'm going to say, I apologize for the last time we were live and y'all were telling me the story and that she murked the dog. I got worked up with the murking of the dog, and I accused her of murking a dog. Or not accused her, but I just, verbally decimated a little bit to do about her murking a dog. And that was not true at all. It seems to be a keystroke error. So I apologize for anything I said to do at all with Amberlynn's mother murking a dog. Okay. She did plead guilty, but the charges, it seems like in the keystroke error, that was not the charge that she pled guilty to. You understand? It's just an error, like a typo, as they put in the information. She pled guilty to.
Well, I'm glad that Sam was able to get that from a county clerk. So I'm sure that clears everything up.
Punching out her mother is what she was pleading guilty to. She was a drug addict. She's, you know what I mean? Meth. And she punched out her mother. She was physically fighting her mother. That's what that incident was. So although I 100% apologize for talking about her mother and the dog and possibly murking a dog, the truth of the situation is that she was still a fucking crackhead knocking out her own mother. So, I mean, yes, apologies for the dog thing, but I take nothing back when it comes to calling you a degenerate and da-da-da at the time, because absolutely. And I would go so far to say, as although the drugs might not still be at play, and although there might have been a change of life to a certain extent, somebody taking out their death fat daughter, getting them alcohol, going gambling. So, what the fuck are you doing? It's not like listen, Amber can be smitten with her mother all she wants and truly believe that her mother has changed so much and she's like this great fucking person now and stuff. I don't know. Besides being clean, I don't see such a great person at all. So, yeah, you were still beating up your mother. You were still methed out of your fucking mind. You still abused the shit out of your kids. You're still kind of abusing the shit out of one of your kids. And that's just what we see on camera. God only knows what goes on behind and I'm not trying to say that she's like beating Amber. I'm assuming, allegedly conspiracy, whatever, financial abuse. I'm sure without knowing that Amber is paying for every goddamn thing now with her mother. Her mother is happy to take advantage of that. And Amber is just so happy to be around her mom that she'll keep doing that. And that's fucking sad. And that is abusive. So she is still abusive, in my opinion. Panda Pup, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Anyway, oh my God, 8 hours. Yikes. Chantal Sweaty Neck Rolls, thank you for the super chat. But not necessarily, because if it was just a typo in the inputting, she didn't plead guilty to that. It could have been a totally different number. Like God only knows what.
Never miss out on savings when you shop with the
court clerk is saying that no, it has nothing to do with a service animal. It's like a typo.
Did she sign it, FFG? Is that a document she actually signed? Or is it just a document that was included in like a file folder, kind of like restating what had happened? Is there a signature on that document? Because if she signed it, then even if it's a mistake, which we don't know, because none of you have hired a PI to actually do some investigation on this, she agreed to those charges, right? She could have been totally out of it. She could have been drugged out of her mind when she signed it. But the reality is that that's what the court prepared, and that's apparently what she agreed to. Is there a signature on the document?
I'm going to believe them, you know? Sniffers Anonymous, thank you for the super chat. Catching up with my coworker walked into my office during the opening show and saw Jin's. Oh boy. Oh no. Now they know what you do. Ooh, yikes. Exactly. Well said. We don't forgive abuse of innocence. I don't care if it's been 50 years. That's right. So, okay. No animal charge? Fine. You were still beating the shit out of your mother while abusing your kids. I still don't like you, and I still can't talk mad shit. Amber getting all worked up and saying that she doesn't think that the community even has a right to speak on her mother. I'm sorry, I don't think that's true. She brought her mother now onto her channel. Her mom pops her face. It's just like what Uncle Phil did. Aunt Phyllis, whatever. We never talked shit about Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil then came on the channel, and then at that point, I think it's fair game. So you brought your mom on. I think it's fair game that we can talk about your mom. That's all. Let's get the tab. We're not going to watch the whole video. Let's just watch Amber addressing the story about her mother, okay?
Okay, guys, so I
don't know if I'm going to do all of this fake dramatic bullshit right here, because she's not crying. She's faking it. And she's literally just trying to throw shade at Jordy.
hate that I even have to talk about this, but I'm going to, because not only is it important to me, but it's also important to my mom. I don't even really know where to start. So there is a reaction channel that begs for more side characters on my channel. And they've also begged for my mom to be in my videos. So in my newest video, my
Amberlynn, Jordy has never begged for shit. Okay? He has said that you would do better with your content if you had a side character because you're too boring by yourself. And he's not wrong.
mom waves at the camera, you see her hand for a second, and then you see her face for a second. That is literally it. And so this reaction channel took it upon themselves to sit there and read every single charge that my mom has or has not, which I'll explain in a second, gotten in her past. So before I clarify or whatever it may be, any of the charges, I just want to say, like, how does anyone expect me to have side characters on my channel if things like this happen? I'm sorry, but listing off my mom's past charges.
So it's the reaction channel's fault or the viewer's fault now that people have questions about your mom? Or it's the reaction channel's fault that your mom has such an extensive criminal record that this kind of thing was even brought up? Or it's the reaction channel's fault that that typo was made on your mom's criminal record? I don't know, but again, I don't know. Kind of fair game. Kind of fair. You brought your mom onto your channel. You know, you certainly didn't have a problem, Amber, sitting in your mama's chat while he talked about my, they're not criminal charges or anything, my court cases. You were laughing it up in the chat. You love that. So you can talk about my court cases and laugh it up and enjoy that someone's bringing that up and stuff, but God forbid somebody touches on your mother's criminal history. That's not how this community works.
And the things that she's done over a decade ago on your YouTube channel during a live stream while reacting.
Sorry guys, they're still doing the landscaping over here. They just brought the wood chipper by and it was really loud.
Reacting to my videos, my current videos, is tacky. It's super tacky, and it's all for monetization reasons, and I think it's really pathetic, honestly. So by doing this, like, do you think that's gonna make my mom want to continue being on my channel when people are literally spreading false rumors about her? And not only that, but digging up things that she did 2 decades ago. So this reaction channel listed off quite a few things, and yes, some of them my mom very much did. My mom is not afraid to admit to the things that she did during her.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird way to describe it, eh? As tacky, a tacky thing to do. Weird word. That's all. Fair to have an opinion about it, but tacky. It's tacky. No, I mean, to each their own. If that's your thing, but tacky, it seems weird. I'm a little conflicted on this one. I'm going to be totally honest. I am, because going back 20 years into criminal history about things just because she brought her to the channel, I don't know about that. However, Amber has made content before about her, specifically her mom's criminal history. In a video, I saw a clip going around, and it's a clip from like years ago on her channel, like years ago, talking about her mom's jail time and how she was sentenced to over 5 years, specifically talking about this case. If you're going to specifically talk about something, I don't think you can blame people's curiosity once, again, she's been on your channel. I don't know. Ruthie, thank you for the super chat. Punching your mom is tacky. Yeah, very fair. Fair. Being on meth is tacky. Abusing your kids is tacky. All very, very tacky. Well said. Lord Farquaad, thank you for the super chat. $2. This is about her image, how others see her. You're right. Yeah, you are probably right. Fuck. That's sad.
Addiction, because when she was on drugs, she did a lot of things that she's very ashamed of, but everything she...
Well, whatever, okay? But the reality is that you're running a business, Amberlynn. You're running a business. And like any other business, you have to vet the additional employees that are going to be coming on your business. And I would assume that she's getting some level of compensation for making appearances.
She confronts head on. She takes accountability. Even to this day, she takes accountability for things that she did even when I was just a child. She has a lot of regrets. I can definitely say that, but she is almost a decade sober. I never in a million years thought that would happen, like truly. Like, my mom is the epitome of you can change. You can be a better person, and you can do good things not only for yourself, but for the world.
Yeah. Give us an example. What's she done that's good for the world? And I'm not trying to shit all over the achievement. Being clean for over 10 years, or for 10 years when you were that level of cracked out, that is something, okay? Props where props are due. Good for her. However, give us an example of her being like a better person and improving the world. What's she doing to improve the world? What does her mom do? Genuine question. Does she work? Does she do anything? Is she just now mooching off of Amber? Getting her buzz balls and going to the casino and going to play gambling games and stuff? Blobfish, thank you for the super chat. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm asking. But, yeah, getting clean is one thing, and props for that. Let's not turn her into Mother Teresa here. Marie, thank you for the super chat. That's right. Yeah, what her mom did was tacky, beyond tacky. Tanya, thank you for the super chat. The criminal record got leaked 5-6 years ago. I think Amberlynn called Destiny's brother's drug issues tea. Yes, that's right. Something about the father too, if I'm remembering correctly. The brother and the father. Yes, I remember that. But this is tacky because it's happening to her, of course. Mm-hmm. Her job is living off the system. Yeah. We only see what Amber's showing us. Mm-hmm. She's made her mom look terrible, even like lately. Yikes. How do we even know Mama Lynn knows her shit is out there? We don't. We definitely don't. Oh, okay. She's like Amber's driver at this point, driving her to Tarjay. Okay. They use each other. Yeah, that's fair. True. Yeah. Amber can't do for herself physically. She's using her, and then she's using her financially. Fine. Yeah. Yeah, Destiny's father may not have been her biological father. Yeah, okay.
I just want to start off by saying that, yes, my mom has been to jail. My mom has been to prison. She has been in and out of jail and prison ever since I was just a little girl. Same with my dad. That is what I grew up with, what I had to deal with. I'm getting emotional. I don't talk a lot about these things. Fuck. The fact that I feel pressured to have to speak on this is ridiculous. And it's so wrong on so many levels. And I know.
No tears. No tears. No tears. She makes money off of this.
A lot of people are just not going to care. Like, I just feel like this is wrong. But I just feel like I have to speak on this because it's not fair. But yes, that is something I dealt with. I was in foster care for a reason. These are things that I do not really talk about. And it's because everything that I say, everything that I do, there's always speculation. There's always people calling me a liar. And I think the subject of foster care, what I experienced in foster care, why I was in foster care.
Well, people call you a liar because you're a liar. I don't know what to tell you. Just like Chantal, if you don't want to be called a liar, stop fucking lying to everyone. Does that mean you didn't experience some hell growing up? Of course not. But don't mix today with before and your story then with being called a liar now, because it's apples and oranges. You can't mix that kind of shit. Absolutely not.
Foster care. Those are things that it's hard for me to touch on because some of the things that I went through sounds like a lie, sounds exaggerated, sounds insane, but it's very much stuff that I went through. I'm not saying.
Okay, I had to move inside because they're outrageously loud outside.
My life was any worse than anyone else's, it doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to say is that, yes, my mom has made some lousy choices. There is a rumor going around that my mom went to prison for 5 years for killing a service animal. I am telling you right now, that never happened. You have the wrong person. My mom has never been to prison for 5 years, period. The longest she was ever in prison was for 2 years. And that was for...
Oh, sorry. I had to go and run with Lil to bring her out to pee. Okay. What she just said here. My mom hasn't been to prison for 5 years, period. They have the wrong person, period. That is just not true. Let me just play that back. Because I was coming running back as it was playing.
Choices. There is a rumor going around that my mom went to prison for 5 years for killing a service animal. I am telling you right now, that never happened. You have the wrong person. My mom has never been to prison for 5 years, period. The longest she was ever...
Okay, that's two different things. So, okay, yes, your mom didn't go to prison for 5 years for killing a service animal. You have the wrong person. If that's the story, fair. Because that does not seem to be true at all. Okay, fine. However, you saying right there that your mom never went to prison for 5 years, I saw the clip going around on Twitter since yesterday about you in that old video of yours telling everybody that your mom got 5 years and a bit. It was just over 5 years. That was coming out of your own mouth. Your mouth. You told the audience that in a video, okay? So don't tell us now, all these years later, that your mom didn't get 5+ years in prison, because she did. You told us. Did she end up doing 5 whole years? No. She got out early. So now you're going to sit there after telling us that, yes, she got over 5 years. Now you're lying and changing the story. You're playing with words to a certain extent. to say, well, no, she never even did 5 years in prison. That's right. She got out early, but you told us that she got 5 years. That doesn't
Never miss out on savings when you shop with the Ralphs.
the fact that she got 5 years. Nima Marie, thank you for the super chat. Hell yeah. Why doesn't the mother work? What is this? Jenny, thank you for the super chat. She can't censor people, period. She should know. That's what they hate, the loss of control. They can't, like, write the narrative. You know what I mean? Oh, God. Oh. Pancakes, yo, thank you for the super chat. Amberlynn's mom got a new car right after she moved back to Oklahoma. Convenient. No, I don't remember. I haven't watched Amber in ages. Since Bracket Olympics, I dipped the fuck out on this one. To be honest, it's...
Well, we also don't know if she actually has the job, because Amber only features her like 2 days a week. So we don't know what she's doing the rest of the week. I mean, she could be living off the system, sure, but I think it unlikely unless she's living with relatives, because you can't afford to live off the system and do that on your own. I mean, not in anywhere in America. I don't know how you could possibly live solo with just like disability payments or social security payments, or I just don't see that being possible unless you already own your own house and all you have to worry about are the normal, water, gas, electricity, the property taxes that come up, and insurance payments on not only your residence but also your vehicle, right? So that all adds up. It could be pretty tight on a budget like that, but if you actually own your home, it might be doable. But I think that she would have to live with relatives in order to live an existence like that. So it's very possible that she actually does have some sort of low-level job that happens on the side, right? Because she's only featured like 2 days a week. So we can't make the assumption that she has no job.
Been so boring, you know what I mean? I haven't felt compelled to make an Amber video in all these years at this point. LX, thank you for the super chat. Amber used everyone in her life for monetization. Her mom is no exception. Vile. True. But her mom is definitely cashing in. I don't know. Is it so vile when, yeah, they're using each other, right? PG, thank you for the super chat. Remember her tea about, friend losing weight because they couldn't afford food, not because of a diet. Amber is a Blackwater tank of a human. That's right. And the tea about, Destiny's brother, Destiny's father. The way she behaved when Becky's mom sick, beyond sick, when she died, and she was outside in the car. You guys remember the whole thing, and they were in picking a headstone and stuff. It was disgusting. These are supposed to be the closest people to her in her life, and this is how she treats them all. But look at her fake crying because we had the audacity to talk about her mother. Cherry Blossom Mocha, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, rules for thee, but not for me. Oh, man. The girls all have that shit down, eh? Huh. Lord Farquaad, thank you again for the super chat. Chantal's pick and choose lies to be upset over. Yeah, 100%.
Over in prison was for 2 years, and that was for drug-related charges, which most of them were. My mom would never hurt an animal, and my mom, she doesn't care what people think of her, but my mom came to me about this. Not
Oh, so her mom knows. Her mom watches, the Amberverse. Interesting. Yeah, Amber, you just said your mom would never hurt an animal. That's a perfect place to ask you the question, what really happened to Gracie? Your mom would never hurt an animal, but we've watched you neglect yours. And we would love to know what happened to Gracie. Are you ever going to tell us that story? Are you ever going to tell us the truth about that story?
Only people are messaging me.
So Gracie, I think, was one of her girlfriend's cats that did not get along with one of her cats. And quite frankly, my brother's first wife did exactly the same thing. When she was living in an apartment with a roommate who had a cat, that cat did not get along with her cats, and she did the most disgusting, disgraceful thing ever. I'm glad that he finally divorced her, but they had a very contentious divorce. But what she did was she put the roommate's cat inside a duffel bag in her trunk and took that cat up to the hills and sat there for a while, considering whether she was going to just release the cat into the wild. And then she realized the woe of her ways and brought the cat back. And when she brought the cat back, it was hyperventilating, it was sweating all over its body. It was an absolute mess. There are some people who proclaim themselves to be animal lovers who really are not. They're shitty people.
Me privately about it, but they're messaging my mom about it. My mom was confused. She had no idea where this came from because she has never done that. It's obviously another person with the same name as my mom because that has never happened. And if she did do something like that, she would be the one to admit it. Things that she admits to, the things that she has done in the past, some of it, it's hard for her to admit to. But the fact is, who you are.
No. It was your mom. The paperwork actually was related to your mom. The discussion now is whether or not there was a typographical error. Okay? But it was related to your mom. So here you go again, just making up your bullshit without getting all the facts. And quite frankly, you should have been the one trying to get all the facts on this story, because it affects you the most, right? And rather than just try and lie about it, you could have been the one who said, I need to hire a PI, I need to figure out what happened, I need to know if there actually was a dog incident. You should have been the one. But you were too lazy to do that, and you just came up with this fucking lying bullshit live stream to try and blame Jordy for your woes.
An active addiction is not your true self. And I'm not making excuses for her. She has changed so much. She is almost a decade sober, completely different person. But I'm not going to sit here and justify the things that she's done. Neither me or my mom want to do that, but we want to make it very clear that if you're going to name off my mom's charges for monetization gain on your behalf, at least get your facts straight and stop spreading rumors that aren't real. This is not something.
Well, why don't you take that up with the court, honestly? Because nobody just created those documents. It's some kind of a typo, an error in the documents. You can't really blame the person who's just reading the documents. They didn't make the documents. So your gripe shouldn't be with them, okay? Saying that what people do during active addiction, it's like as if it doesn't matter. Just trying to blow it all off. I don't really buy that either. I don't live by that kind of rule. No, they have an excuse for what they did, but they still did what they did. You know, her mom beat up her own mom. Her mom abused the shit out of her own two kids. Those are things that still happened. I don't know. Is it fucked to say not every drug addict knocks their own mom out? I'm just saying.
that I will be speaking about. It's not something that I'm gonna come back on here, clarify this, clarify that, because I think it's bullshit that I even have to do this to begin with. My mom showed her face for a second. And this is the way that that reaction channel is gonna behave. It's not a good look. I just wish people would get to know the woman that
Yeah, I mean, like, knocking out your mother is not a good look. Sydney, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, exactly. We can't talk about her mom, but she can talk about Destiny's brother because it's T. Yeah, absolutely. Rose for thee, but not for me. Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, and she's lying because just a couple months ago, she did a live stream or a vlog with her mom in which her mom was helping her do some sort of recipe and was on her film. She was captured, and Amberlynn made her mom embarrass herself, saying that she likes this particular recipe because she's lost all of her teeth because of the meth that she did in the past. So, no, Amberlynn, this isn't the first time you've shown your mom. We just saw her like a few months back. That's some bullshit.
And again, I'll say it again. Apologies for the misinterpreting, although was it a misinterpretation? I'm sorry that there's that typo on your mom's court records, which leads people to believe that she fucked with a service animal. And I'm sorry we went with that for a few days in this community. How could we have known? Maybe take care of that. Maybe you can have that corrected in the court. Just, I don't know. She doesn't care, but she came to you about it. Maybe she cares. Maybe she would like to have that taken care of.
she is now, and not go off of, oh, she did this 20 years ago. Oh, she did this 15 years ago, and she might have done that. Like, no. I just think overall, what my mom did 15 years ago, 20 years ago, doesn't need to be talked about. Like, why does it matter? People literally
Never miss out on savings when you shop with the Ralph.
live lifetimes. If you guys would have known my mom 15 years ago versus the woman she is now, you wouldn't even recognize the two. It's two completely different people. But regardless,
Well, again, you didn't mind talking about Destiny's family, and you didn't mind sitting there giggling it up. Well, Slow Mama talked about my court cases that are from like 10 years ago. Again, when it's not about you, it's fine. You giggle it up. You love it. It's tea. When it's about you, though, it's tacky. Don't do it. Basement Baby, thank you for the super chat. Exactly. That's the clip that I've seen going around for days now.
the service animal thing did not happen. That was not my mother. And I just feel the need to stick up for her because I see how this has hurt her. The fact that people would think that she would do something like that, she wouldn't even do that in her active addiction. I think reaction channels need to stop being tacky.
Tacky, shut up. Shut up. She wouldn't have done that during her active addiction, but she knocked out her own mother. I'm sorry, if you're willing to knock out your own mother, why should we not believe that she would harm a dog or an animal, you know?
And we're not talking about like a young mother. We're talking about generations here, right? Everybody was adults when this happened, right? So Amber was in her 20s. Her mom was 17 when she had her. She can't even fucking remember the shit. She was like, I don't know, I think my mom's 60. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm mistaking the Chantel story. Chantel was saying that. She's like, I don't know, I think my mom is 60. Her mom was 17 when she had her. So she should be well aware that if she just turned 40, that her mom is 57. But I'm not sure of the age difference here, but I think it's pretty close as well because they seem very dysfunctional, right? Point being, grandma is going to be much older. Much older. So we're not talking about punching out somebody in their prime. We're talking about elderly abuse.
Sorry, not sorry. She would do that during her active addiction. That's crazy shit, man. Pull her pin up. Thank you for the super chat.
And they need to react to what I'm saying and what I'm showing currently. Instead, people constantly try to drum up some stuff from histories ago. It's just like, really?
No, you don't get, just like, man, she really is more like Chantal than I realize, eh? Just like Chantal, you don't get to control the narrative. You don't get to decide what people talk about. Talk about what I'm showing now. No, they can. People can. But they can absolutely talk about the past too. Because the past is who you are. The past is how we know you. How we know you're a liar. How we know you're full of shit, Amber. It's because of the past and all the shit you've done. And right now, it's also how we know that we can call you a hypocrite for using, for example, Destiny's family, but being mad that people are talking about your mother. We have to be able to talk about the past for these reasons.
Is that what you have and what you're trying to do? I just think it's really pathetic because let's switch roles real quick. Imagine if that was happening to you and your mother. Hey guys, so it's been a little bit since I filmed that last clip, and I had to journal afterwards because it put me in a very weird headspace. I really love to journal, like, where I just let my, like, thoughts just fall, even if they make no sense. Like a stream of consciousness, if you will. And I started journaling about the aspect of, like, drug addicts becoming sober and them just like looking back at the things that they've done to themselves, to the people around them, their family, while they were actively in their addiction. And it's like getting sober and not taking accountability is one thing, but getting sober and taking accountability and every day working towards a better you, like that means something. That's
Oh, she was journaling about it. Fuck off. Anyway, it's not our business. I was going to start. What's she doing to be a better me? Been out of jail for how long? Clean for 10 years. She says, why does the woman not work? It is fucked. Yeah, and while we can say that, yeah, they were using each other and it's mutually beneficial, it is fucked to think that a former crackhead who lost their kids and their kids grew up in foster care and stuff because they were crackheads and the kids were being abused, right? Would then 10 years sober go and start mooching off of one of the kids that you lost as a crackhead because you were abusing them. The audacity, absolute audacity of that woman. If after all that you go back and you like reconnect with your kid and you see like, okay, well, whatever, they're a death fat, the health isn't great, she's got hella problems of her own, but she's making enough money to sustain herself. At least there's that. She could have turned into a serial killer, after the childhood she had, let's say. Who the fuck would leech financially off of that person? That is crazy. Absolutely crazy to me.
Wow. All right, Frenchie, thanks for capturing the content. Let me make sure I grab your link so I can share you. Amberlynn, this is your business. This is literally how you earn a living, right? So you need to vet your employees. And Mom is an employee if she's going to be appearing on your live streams. Okay? Figure out what to do about it.